Yep. Oh yeah. And we're back. And once again we're back.
Connecting.
Yep. And we're just grinding, boys and girls. We step down.
Skill training completed.
Yeah. This is the first time. Yeah. There's been a lot of drama around my former Toons. Together with C3, we have decided to close down the account after we decided that I was extremely hurt and I was very wise in leaving all of them. And there I want to bury the shit right away. This is a new beginning and I am a new player. Yeah, I have a lot of accounts, a lot of characters. You will see a lot of things that I'll be doing, and I will try my best to get you guys able to and with guys I say the newer players in the game, to learn a thing or two from somebody that has crashed and burned a couple of times in the game really hard, but also reached really high places. And yeah, in that adventure I want to bring you along. Right. So I decided to start a new corporation. It's currently amongst only my Toons are in it. That's what I'm trying to say. I've claimed names of my characters that I deleted.
Connecting.
Including all their skill points, with an estimation of about 150 million skill points, about 30 billion in assets I gave away in a giveaway, and yeah, after that it's been very difficult to come back. We still determined that yeah, there's hate. There's a lot of hate in the game at the moment, you know, and that's pity because there's so much awesome things in the game. And while I talk away, I am trying to find which alt I need to be on. In all wisdom, yes, this one's here. Is important. This one is important. Yes, she is. Corporation, local. Now, this is a Minotaur character. So how I decided to play the game this time is I really start to begin from the bottom up, literally. So I will do no joining of big blocks. I attempted that and immediately I get yeah, let's say hints that people are still negatively able to trace back to the hashtag drama around my former character, and that is this one I will show to you. Because in my opinion,
Connecting.
this was my character, of which was the center point of all the drama. Right? Look at him. He's a newbie, and he looks very different. And I have no clue what to do with him yet. Because the first one I logged in with is the one that I train first, so I have an X amount of accounts. Just envision that I have a lot, and I created all Toon slots, and my plan is following. I used to spend a lot of money on blinged out PvP ships, and I was not at all prepared in the sense of gaining experience in combat. Now, also, uh, with that in mind, it was extremely frustrating for me because what happened was that a lot of people, they were heartfelt and they gave sincere advice. Others immediately, when meeting me and flying with me, just really shortly, they immediately knew that I had experience and that I was no stupid idiot. But on the other hand, the experience, like the practical experience, you gain that over like by doing the thing are passionate about every day, every hour, every second of your playtime. Now, and that's exactly where my problem was, um, because I had all this knowledge and all these adventures and all these people I met and these communities I was a part of, but it was all very long time ago. And as you know, Eve is an explosive world and lots of stuff happens. And that is a hint towards the people that like me are playing much longer than me even. I started in early 2012. Now imagine people that started in game release times like 2004, 2005. What they've seen and what all the stories they could tell. And that was another learning point. Very difficult for me because I have this rare combination of something a little they call ADD and these days, but I just say it's ADHD and AVNOS. I don't care about what they say with the ASS and on the spectrum bullshit, fashion shit, what it is these days. I got my diagnosis when I was 27. I am now 45, and I still deal with it daily. I say fuck all of that, and yes, I can be very hyper at times and talk a lot. Yet all this that is true. At the same time, I am very sincere. I will not lie to you, and I will give you what as you give me. Simple. But if you cross my lines and if you hurt me, oh man, I can be one nasty motherfucker. And I will be a pit bull and I will not let go until I burn you down. And that's something that my life has scarred me, if you will, or taught me, and that is what you call being through. Yeah, I got on my body. I have a sleeve on my tattoo sleeve on my left arm, and the design is all free-handed with the inspiration I gave to a friend of mine, and well, it is not visible. On the inner side of my bicep, I have the words "to hell and back," and that is about my real life. And I am a Christian. I believe deeply in the Lord Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and the Holy God, Trinity, and the Logos of that God. So I came to found in all the drama in game that the real drama for me was happening in my own personal life. And so at 45 you finally reach a point where you can say, hey, I'm walking with God, and I don't have a lot. I do have a lot of time. I have the old friend and support, and there's this game that I love, instead of staying away and ghosting, I'm staying here and just doing the thing from the bottom up. From the bottom up. Because that was my plan. And there's a lot of temptations, you know? A lot of temptations in the game. And you need to watch for them. And they're very big. Okay? So, and sharing is okay, but you also have to respect that if somebody says, I don't like to hear that, or blah blah blah, that you either have a discussion about it, which I think is always the best thing, because where you find friction, you will find something to learn. Most of the time, that's very, very true. And on the other hand, if you have a corporation and you are in real life and you have a little bit of issues, and the corporation has these rules and guidelines and you have to be online so much and blah blah blah, you're invested in the corporation because you spend either a lot of assets in game, you know, that were to you very valuable, for example, and you have to talk to them, right? But you're new, and then you get a reaction that's mind-blowing to you, and it hurts you, and it scares you a lot. Those are the times you need to listen to your gut, because probably before that you're seeing similar signs already, because if that happens to you, when you are explaining to the leadership or to who you think is the leadership, because you don't even make any or explain such, and you courageously share that and you're being dismissed like it's nothing, get out of there ASAP. Okay? Like right away. That's bad news, really bad news, because it means that these people, they have no emotional awareness whatsoever, or they do not care about you, and they don't even consider that you might be really in trouble in real life, you know? So, I did what they say, keep it to yourself. So I was literally like a dog dismissed, right? So immediately I think I logged out. I can't even remember so angry I was. I logged out, come back to the game. I was kicked. No reaction, nothing when I contacted leadership or people that were involved in my recruitment, and nothing. So I literally really lit up, because in that adventure, for me it was a victory, because it was very apparent that in Lowsec, around the Amar faction and the Mimitar faction warfare zone, I was involved in some high political news regarding my person, mostly because I am very passionate and very outgoing, you know, but I wasn't always like that, and there were some people that immediately were like, hey, that's a big change, it's not probably, it's not maybe, it's not even him. So people I spent years on comms with me always being the follower, you know, quiet one, but always present, always supportive, and always mutually. Imagine even there was a moment that, okay, we got to log into the next account now, but I'm not gonna stop talking because this is important. Yeah, what happened was, imagine this. So I've been involved in some nastiness. This person says, you wanna fly in the AT ship? I said no, pure out of honor and to show that I was loyal. So I could have, if I would have been smart at the time, looking back, I should have jumped in that U2 and docked it up and said, middle finger up to you. But yeah, I was dumb and loyal. And not confident yet, even though I was older than this fucker. And I say fucker, and that's ironic because I still care for that mother beep beep. And that's what it is, you know. Overcoming betrayal is not easy, especially when you're invested in it, especially emotionally. And then you uncover the whole shit show when you're out of game because I'm a digger, you know. I explained it already. And like I said, if I beyond all doubts, and that's where my my strength lies. You know, I am tactical and savage if I have to be, and I can play the fool and I can do and act like I don't know anything and clueless. You know, but it got really bad also out of game. Um, but I was enabled, literally, due to my state, to all the proof that I had to ordinate and um, with friends in real life, we decided, you know, quit the game. It's not good for you now. These people are not good for you. Um, they've done you big harm. CCP said that too, that I was the wise one in leaving it all behind. So yeah, take caution with EVE Online, especially if you're young. Under 18, take very good care of yourself. Make sure you have your parents know you're playing this game. Make sure that they monitor who you are dealing with, who you're talking to, and what you're talking about, what they're asking you to do, and especially if it's involving money, because money in EVE Online, even in the game, is worth something in real life. Period. Now, back to what happened to bury the drama, right? So what I did, um, I stepped away after I gave away all my assets that was left after everything I sold. Um, so this is an estimate. I in local posted that I was doing a giveaway. I was contacted, and I did that in local, by the way, in the Minmitar own system. I was contacted by a guy, um, and there was a lot of people in that local, and I think I pasted it on alts as well in Jita. So yeah, the origin of this person is to me unknown because I also deleted all the discords. Everything that I was involved in was deleted, you know, literally. And I started to talk to this person, and he's like, "Yeah, come to Lowsec sometimes. I know your region, but I don't think we will manage to do what you want to give me. I don't think we will be able to get it out if you give it to me." So I said, "Well, okay, that's fine. Don't worry. Just do one thing for me. You guard the Egelende to Secede Gate first on the Secede side, and I will do all the rest." So, and I knew that Minmatar was hunting me, and they were after my most prized assets, especially. And while I was fully in the open, preparing, you know, but I said nothing in local because, like I said, I blew the lid before. And I regained composure, and I was talking to this guy, and he was literally afraid because he mentioned this group that I said we have to watch out the most for these guys because blah blah blah. I told him a little bit of the background and why I was stepping away, and he said, "Well, I'm actually afraid of them because," I said, "Why? It's a video game. They can't do anything to you." And he said, "Well, always when I'm like doing plexing or alone or with a friend, they attack us with the whole group, and you know, we don't even get a chance." And I said, "Yeah, I know that's how they play, but they're very good at what they do, and that's easy. You know, you have to avoid them until you are strong enough or have enough friends to like be equal to them in strength, you know." And what they do is they're relentless in in what they do, and they will take you down regardless if you're alone or not. And that is especially as something to not be taken wrongly, because it is nothing more than a group that is extremely good in PvP, and they're extremely good in intel, and especially good in they have tentacles all over it, you know, that's what I want to call it. Because if you look at Amar Mimitar factions, Mimitar is clearly at the moment fully succeeded in becoming a big block. Yeah, I see structures of their everywhere of theirs, and that's Mimitar Fleet Alliance, and everything that's a part of it. And on the other hand, you have Amar, still capable of fighting back, but being more honorable in my opinion, and not falling to empire building. However, and here it is. The reason I got into trouble with Omar in the first place is because I started to figure out what Kimi Harar was, and that on paper, and the picture they paint is we are a role-playing alliance. And then I started to figure out, hey, this is bullshit, because I was contacted and I was asked, will you support Kimi in our operations because we are losing blah 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 da. But it didn't add up, because I was asked just by one guy. So I said, okay, I can join your corp and we can do it together. And he said, well, if you do that, you become in more friction with Vard Squad. It doesn't exist anymore, by the way, Vard Squad, because Vard is burnt down, literally, because it's not in possession of Amar anymore. It's now held firmly by Mimitar, as well as Olga. And Olga might be in Amar system, but I'm laughing while I'm saying this. Don't get it twisted, because Mimitar is the boss. Like, Mimitar owns the shit, like for real, and I'm laughing because of that, because I'm no longer in Lowsec, nor do I want to be, and I still have friends there, you know, and I'm proud of them for what they're doing, and when they hear this, they exactly know what I'm talking about. So, continue, back to the last day. This person tells me he's afraid of them, blah blah. I tell him it's no need to be afraid. This is a video game, period. You're here to have fun. Go with your corporation, do what you want to do. I'm going to give you this stuff. Don't have fears. Don't worry. I will not come look for you. I will not be trouble for you. Enjoy all this is, because for him, he said that it was so surreal that he couldn't even believe it. Now to me, it wasn't that much, but I will say it openly. It was above the 10 billion value. In liquid alone. So yeah, he was a very lucky winner, for real, and I was happy to do that, you know, because yeah, like I say, I was on a much harder journey in life, and I still have the means to do it, you know, even now, so who cares. Point being is, it's a video game. It's a video fucking game. So what I did is I YOLO'd out of there, like I do, my style. Everybody remembers that South Park, you know, with the stupid Mark Zuckerberg, that shitbag. He's like annoying in that town, and he's like doing stupid role-playing things. So the whole shit began because I figured out that Kimi Harar actually had a contract against them by a big high-tech mercenary group, and the reason is that exactly why Vard got burned down, the elite Vard squad, and I was a member of that squad. And there it is, because if you're claiming you're only role playing, right? But in reality, you are in high sec fighting fights, huh? Why are you in Isaac fighting fights? You are a role-playing alliance that is more oriented than PvP. Is what you're showing and screaming and what, you know? And you found it funny and weird that you became a target, huh? And I had friends in the game that slapped me to sense, literally, by saying, hey, this is not about you, my friend, because that was how deeply they, they got me, you know? And that was supposed to be my friend, you know? Plural. Two, two factions, both small. And small, I mean in honor and strength and everything, you know? Because you cannot claim you're still the best of the best and then demean somebody that is just back and doing what he can with his limitations, and that's about me, period. Um, so I figured out, okay, Team Harar is much more than what they looking to be, and they're asking me to dip low, and yet I receive uh, signals that I am a troublemaker. And I started really, you know, and this is really funny because I started acting like a fool, like really. That's when I started acting because I was fully aware of all of it. So, um, and what I'm talking about is that there was young pilots, right? Young pilots. They don't even play anymore, sadly, because I never on comms got into contact with any of them anymore. My old friend, Mr. Legendary, uh, they say he's a gentleman. I say fuck that. He's a brutal. He's a fucking horrid cunt. He has no manners. He doesn't give a fuck about anything but about what he wants to do because he thinks that he can tell whoever, oh, your fit is shite. And I started cross-checking, you know, with people I trusted. Like, look at this fit and what do you think of it? And, well, how is that possible? That the four guys, in total I asked five. I asked him, he said it's shit. I asked the other four and they all said, that's pretty good, but I would change this. And they exactly addressed what I would change as well. And he, what did he say? Exactly what he always does. Exactly, it's shit because it's blah blah blah. And the blah blah blah, and going back to, here's the difficulty with changes, and he's not alone because, don't get me wrong, how I miss my upgrade links. Oh my dear, how do I hate what they did with recons and so on in Lowsec, right? So I understand it. But don't get me wrong, man, there's one nano wonder module called reactive armor hardener, for example, right? And I've always been that guy that will try the hardest thing that everybody says it's not possible if I see something in it. And for me, often, it's something of a feeling. And that's not always the smartest thing to do, especially in PvP. You're gonna get burned, like literally. Um, so what happens is I'm back, right? I'm on Discord, just being myself. And the thing is I was a new self. You know, I was confident, and I spoke about what I wanted to. First sign of trouble, I get a convo from a friend. I had just left his alliance and said to me, hey, uh, one of your friends offered real money, dollars, for a spot in my alliance. I said, who? And presto, it was a dude that my gentleman friend had introduced me as. He is one of, remember back in the day, he is one of us. I was like, interesting. What happens? I take my distance a little bit. I meet somebody, fly with that dude. This dude was legit, so was I, right? We had mad fun. What happens? A Discord voice says, hey, Loki, interesting bio. I was like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, oh yeah, well, I said, yeah, thanks man. It's like comments from the old days. Um, and it was literally so, old stuff, old screenshots I kept, all that jazz. What happens? Um, so I start to have some mad fun with that dude I met, and a day later, one of my accounts, 3-day ban. I'm like, what the fuck? So of course I contact CCP and I'm like, okay, I want to know what this is about. And they say, okay, we need some time and blah 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 blah. I get a response. Yeah, it was about the language in your biography, and they gave me an exact. Well, they basically they shared me the exact literal thing that was in my bio that was reported reported as being extremely offensive, right? And that was a quote by one of my dudes, right? One of the real ones. Yep, I'm saluting you right now, brothers, because you left the shit so even before I did, because I wasn't aware yet, but you already knew. You already knew, my friends, and I salute you. Yes, my fellow Europeans, the Eastern ones, which I'm of blood as well half. Yep, they know who they are, you know. They were grinding away from all the bad bullshit, you know, and I salute them because they said to me, "We understand you." My most grievance was is that supposed to be we as Var Squad needed to be good at what we do. Um, I said all the time, and I kept repeating it. We should be on comms first. Secondly, we need to fly compositions if we want to have a chance against these attackers. And all the time the response was no, 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 we don't want to be on comms. So yeah, I started looking elsewhere, but I didn't leave them. But I started flying MTSI, and I was welcomed there open arms. And I'm sure that if I contact them today, I will have no trouble with them. Probably will not be able to fly with them anymore because the impact was huge of what happened. Not just for me, let that be clear. Mm, but yeah, so I come back after the 3-day ban, and all at the same time this shit was happening that the old dude I left was telling me, yeah, you have a spy, did, but at the same time he was also acting like he was afraid that I would tell something to Kimi. So obviously there was something brewing that wasn't really right. There was something off, and I knew it all the time. Like I said, I was aware. So I started logging, and very, very consciously, not to harm, not to retaliate, not to cause somebody else to get banned, nothing like that. No, I needed to trace the source and the origin. Um, but so time goes on, and I started to become, yeah, no, I was not doing all that, not too bad. I was actually flying what I wanted to, so not completely alone most of the time, but actually in organized gangs, led by somebody that knew how to, handle me because yeah, I can talk like I'm very confident. I might sound or look extroverted, but actually I'm very sensitive and gentle of soul, and also I'm not all that confident at times, and yeah, you can get emotional with this time because these people they welcomed me open arms, and even said when I started making content that was pretty fucking. For me, it was when I listened it the first time. I was like back on the ground again. I was shocked because what came out of me. Um, yeah, and yeah, that's difficult. So I deleted everything, but I know, and that's fucking awesome. I need to contact him ASAP. One of my friends in the MPSI group asked me to send him files of the songs I made. So I hope he will be willing to share them with me again, so I will have them and can make new content with them, because that's what I want to do. Yeah, and like today, you see everywhere AI songs, and they're not that bad, man. Let's be honest. But what is bad is, to me, is people that abuse it to make money, you know. And the thing is, that's more aggravating to me is the people that are doing that actually have the means, you know, to invest in multiple subscriptions, you know, and then get even more than they already have. And me with my disability benefits and my goddamn paper out every morning around really early, you know, I don't. I simply don't. And that's what's aggravating to me, because, like I said, I'm walk with God, you know, with my God, and therefore, yeah, I worry for these things, because it can be used to benefit the ones close to you, but it can also be misused, and we see it a lot now, because I see on YouTube music I love, but in the reactions I'm baffled. Like there's literally 60 people saying, "Oh, this is great of this artist," and clearly, if you're not a retard, you know that this is not by the artist, you know, but by AI, you know, and that's when you start stealing, really stealing and thieving and being bad, in my opinion, right? Um, so I use artificial intelligence daily, and I will use it in my productions from now on, and not to generate the vibe or the swag it has, or the content, like how do you say that, the topic and the feels, you know, because that's what I'm about. I'm about being real. I won't hide to talk about the hard stuff, you know. I want to talk about it. Like yesterday, I saw a video about the guys in HiSec, and I'm now part of HiSec, you know, with my small new port, with all my alternate. And he was talking about very passionately, telling the story like I can. Um, and yeah, I thought I was amazed and really, really hit hard by this video. And luckily he had over 1,000 subs and subscribers, I mean, and yeah. So I was immediately, okay, saving this video, and this person, I need to start to talk to him, because he can teach me how to transform my storytelling ability and my experiences in life, um, that led to me having all this knowledge and the capability to um, use languages and dialects that I had never even uh, been to, even, you know. But that's what I'm good at too. I can tell stories, and I have a lot of experiences I can share. And but to keep it on topic, right? Um, what I was talking about, and this is exactly one of the typical markers of somebody that has the well, I don't like the word disability or something like that. I don't like slapping a label on it, you know. You need to be careful with that, very careful, because you can either look like something you're really not, or somebody can, you know, start using it against you, and that's the dangerous thing, you know. But I still remain grounded by the backbone of what the whole moral is of this whole thing I'm telling you guys, and that's towards the new pilots, but also the veterans. You know, be aware. Don't be too hard in your judgment. You know, because I might come across like I'm going from there to this and that to that. If you listen carefully, you will find the narrative in my story, because I'm telling it how I feel it, you know, and I share by literally coming from the conscience, or what do you want to call it? I don't know the English proper explanation for how I share, but it comes from my passion, you know, and it comes from my deeply feeling for the other, because I know what it is like to be not heard and so forth. But also, I know the frustrations of losing when you are not supposed to be losing because you already had it, but you might have been stupid. Hmm? Yep, I tell that to myself now. And that's the exact reason that I am now having so many accounts and alts. I am not paying penny, a penny to support the game. I am not Omega, I am Alpha on all, so I have 5 Alpha Toons training. So the first ones are reaching 5 million already. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to the second Toon on that account, and I have all planned out what they are going to be and what they're going to be doing. That's step 2. All 5 accounts to number 2 alpha training. 5 million is the limit, and that's what we're going to go through. And all the money that I used to spend on Bling PvP, I am still supporting the game, but all the plex that I buy, I sell, and I save it. And in there, I finally adhere to advice that I gained from one of fraternity's Chinese leaders, Rose, very famous guy. When I got into contact with him because me and a former body had a dream, at least I had a dream that I would have a revenant, and I'm going to have one. I already know the fit, even fully officer fit, and I will smash your ass one day with it, at least before I lose it, you know. So just to give you a little glimpse of what we are building. So yeah, I never scoffed at Alpha, yet I was not very wise with all my capital, literally. I had so many assets, so many potential that I used wrong. I extracted and skill points and then injected, randomly from Toons, blah blah blah. And ultimately, I was always losing in the end. I was bleeding like my own assets, and I was using my scarce real life um, means or funding to cover that loss, that bleeding I did. And not many people knew about this, but it was easily to see, like how much the explode was, and yeah. So I stopped doing that, and I am saving every penny, every single iski, and at the same time, I am also doing the true grind of what a new Capsuleer has to do. And for me, that is what I'm having the most fun at the moment is industry, and that means all things around BPOs and cheap ones, so that to be clear, all VPOs that I'm using to gain some passive income are cheap ones, not research, and only alphas can use them. So that's what I'm doing. Secondly, I am getting some LP. That's what I'm going to keep under close to myself, so I'm not sharing a lot about that because that's not for newbies. But second thing is I'm mining a lot in a venture, and I'm doing a lot of exploration, and I'm doing a lot of abyssal. And for now, with my skill points, everything it comes down to at the moment still. I'm working towards generating enough capital to buy Agila, and that's when I start doing tier 2, because like, and through learning from the bottom up, I made classical mistake as to my person, and that was that I needed to use the Corsair Navy because I thought, well, Navy must be better, and because T1 is only blah blah blah. That's how I used to operate in Evil 9, literally. And the reasoning behind it isn't stupid. Don't get me wrong, because it is a fact that anything Navy, anything that is faction, Dead Space or above, is always better than low meta. However, if you are starting and you don't have a lot of ISK, then it is not smart to use all the ISK that you made in the event that we had, and push it into 3 Corsair navies, and then you start doing the Abyss, because there's a lot of money in the Abyss. And I was stunned because I was doing these tier 1s, because the first tier was not enough capital to be gained. It was too easy for me. And then tier 1 in the Corsair Navy was so easy that I had an armor wrapper fitted, and I thought, well, I'm not even using it. Like, what the hell? So I started asking in game about tier 2, and before I could get the reply or read the reply, what did I do? I of course start the tier 2 in a different fit Corsair Navy. So I had 2 armor wraps, capacitor enough to run the wraps and the guns, and use and pulse the MWD. So I go in, first room, 7 cruisers, and I know, okay, I'm going to lose this Corsair Navy periodly. So I started killing by choosing targets that most dangerous. So I was in a room with 7 sleepers, and there were 2 neuters, and so I target them. And I didn't get further than killing literally 1 of them, and then I was already seeing my last 2 cycles of armor go out, cap empty, and I explode. And I was immediately brought back, as to say, put in place by myself. Then I read the advice that was given to me, and I was like, yep, that's me. Accept it, and don't be silent about it. Show it, and there it is. Not very smart. I understand what you mean, and not only that, apply it right away. So what did I do? I stripped my 2 remaining Corsair navies, repackaged everything, including the fittings and the hulls, sold them in Jeddah, and decided to go and buy 10 Corsairs, the normal Corsair. Fitted them, no armor reps, only damage, Tech 2 guns, MWD, and web, and that's it. And they cost maybe, I think, at the top 7, not even 7 mil. And the Corsair Navy, imagine that to be 30 plus million ISK. So yeah, and now I am running about 2 hours a day of abyssals, and I do about 14 in an hour, and every run yields about 1 million. So I do that times 2, that is 28, so I make about 28 million a day. And then the Corsairs are already sold, so the Gila is starting to get inside. As I trained the drones high enough, like that's alpha possible, and working on the light missile launchers, so I can use Tech 1 rapid lights, and then I'm going to start doing the 2s, but not only that, I am also going to use the probe skills to start doing high-sec escalations that you get from either probing or doing the green anomalies. Because when I came back, I also noticed that the small Dead Space modules have increased heavily in price. So therefore there's a lot of potential. And you can do it in alpha, And I'm still contemplating am I going to do it today and choose the worm to start with, or am I going to keep my eyes on the the Gila and get far with it, or both? But yeah, that will be decided in the coming week after my grinding is done. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this record off, uh, this blog off, or what, I don't know how to call it. This is kind of like a podcast-ish sort of thing. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about what came to what was the reason that I left the game. We didn't point a finger at persons. We didn't promote hate. We just announcing that we were not stupid, and we never were. Nor did I think that you were stupid, my friends. And yeah, give each other space and respect boundaries, right? So the the thing we need to take care of most is like private things. Have respect for it, don't use it to smear somebody's reputation. That's a very wrong thing to do, you know because it's just a no, and then being all braggy about it. And for me it was a shock that I came back and I saw what had happened to the system I called home for a while. And it was like bittersweet for me, because at one side I was like, yes, therefore they got what they deserved, and on the other hand I was like, oh, that's pretty sad, because that you were part of the catalyst, maybe. Maybe you were the catalyst that ignited the final blaze needed to push and break what was not going so well. Yep. But I'll end with this. I shared a tune with somebody. I went there and I asked in the militia, hey, who can I PvP with in Vard? And the first thing that lands with me was an alliance member trying to kill me, or a faction member, and they didn't even know who I was, supposedly. Coughing. So guys, bury the hatchet, leave it where it is. Kimi, go do you. Mimitar Fleet, do you. Me, I'm building mine empire, and that's not like what is yours. I'm just a player, and I'm grinding, because I am not even close to more than 5 million skill points, Well, times 5, that's, I have to be honest, 4.5 times 5 is 20 million. But yeah, and imagine as an alpha you can't do a whole lot with it, but I can do a lot with it, and that's learning, experience. And yeah, I'm also contributing in Reddit and learning how to be a decent Redditor, and with my thing that's difficult in text, how to figure out like how is this going to land for other people, because that's something I have trouble with. And yeah, I'm going to stop this first one, and we call this an intro, or an explanation as who is me, and why am I so passionate about EVE Online after been through like the biggest losses you can imagine of assets, but also been through grabbing the biggest amount of assets you can imagine and losing that. And then you will reach a point where you're like, hey, I'm ready for something new, and I'm just a dude in high sec, doing his thing. So I say transmission out of success, guys, and all players that wonder about if they want to join EVE, oh, you better join EVE, because the game is in a very good state. There is a lot of controversy. There are great things happening, which are for some people not great, and for some very small amount of people is going to be a harsh lesson in time. And so we get back to riches again, right? Because you took the Titan stash and the ISK of the Alliance, my dude, Gollum, Gobbins, yeah. Oh, he's gonna learn, and the people that choose to go with him, with all the money, they are gonna get burned for what they did. And that's not like a threat or a promotion hate. No, that is a literal consequence of what he decided to do. And I'm going to give my opinion on the whole Horde drama, and that's what it is in my opinion. This is real drama, you know, because left behind are, I don't know how many players, like thousands of players that were, you know, passionate, and they were working hard in the machine of the Horde Alliance. And I was accepted in there when I anonymously created Loki in the beginning, like that was back in 2019 or something. And yeah, so I know how far they came, and that this is how they're gonna end is fucking horrid to me. It's horrid, and I hope that there are people that are capable to stop the failed cascade and like keep intact at least the alliance, you know, and don't totally disband it, because that would be tragically tragic loss to the game, like for real. That would be history loss. That would be, oh my god, I can't even think about it. So that said, hereby I reach out my hand to what is in Horde, and please do contact me by any way that you know how, be it on my YouTube, where I'm going to post this, and or if it is on Reddit, that's also cool. But I am totally willing to help you build and be part of your alliance again, and you know, do what I can do, you know, and that is what I shone a light on in this video. Where do I come from? What do I know? You know, I'm 45 years old. I'm not stupid, and I work hard. Period. So Horde, if you need help, I'm here and I'm willing to step in, join the ranks, and keep what you still have. And that's what you got to do in the most trying of times. You got to stop. Okay, you got to accept all the loss, and then you got to salvage what you can. Period. And in salvaging what you can, this can also mean like taking in new members, you know, that say, hey, I want to help, or accept any sort of help that leads to re-establishing stabilization of Horde, period. Because the Horde Alliance is too valuable of history and experience and blood, shed, tears, everything that's put into it by players of the over the 10,000 maybe, you know, and now people are leaving the game because of this, man, and that is tragic, man. It is tragic. So there, I will end this first vlog, and yeah, all that listen, I thank you, and I appreciate it, and please do give any sort of feedback, be it positive, be it negative. Yeah, thanks, and we'll see each other in New Eden, and if I know you, I will salute you, and yeah, recognize brothers and sisters, recognize each other, be nice, you know, and yeah, keep it going. I salute you. Out.